Hey guys, thanks for stopping by for another video. Obviously, tonight's video is going to be a little different from my previous ones. I thought it'd be fun to bring out a few of the rifles and talk about my setups and kind of what I expect to get out of them when I take them out to the field. But before we get into all that, I did want to take a few moments to talk about the news stories covering the storms, the floods that moved through several states down here in the South. I've heard stories from Kentucky and Virginia, Tennessee, and Georgia. Just know that from down here in Texas, our hearts go out to y'all. We hope that all the families affected get the relief that they are needing, quickly, effectively. We pray that those who have lost their lives that they can be recovered and laid to rest appropriately. Just know that we're hoping for the best possible outcome given the circumstances. All right, guys. Just before we dive into this specific setup, I did want to preface everything by saying that these are going to be pretty budget-friendly setups. I'm not at a position where I can bring y'all top of the line stuff, at this point in time. But hopefully that changes down the road. If I get my hands on some cool stuff, I'll definitely bring it out for y'all. So that being said, I do take pride in knowing that it doesn't take these really expensive guns in order to be able to make good, safe, effective shots on animals or on targets. This right here is a Savage MSR-15, the Recon. It's got a 22-inch heavy barrel with a muzzle brake. It's inside a free-floating M-LOK handguard, and this is chambered in 224. It's got pretty much a lot of Magpul furniture from the buttstock to the foregrip. I added canted flip-up sights just in case there's a target that moves in closer than what my scope is zeroed at. The flip-up sights are zeroed at 50. Scope itself is zeroed at 100 yards. I do have some cheap bipod legs that I bought off of Amazon, admittedly. I bought them, tried them out, and hey, I haven't taken them off afterwards. They've worked really well for me. The only thing that I would have liked is if they were a little faster to deploy. But like I said, for what I paid, they do the job. The grip is a Hogue pistol grip. I did think about changing it out for like a more vertical Magpul grip, but after I put some bands on it, some like range bands or rubber bands to help with the contouring, I felt like it fits great. I haven't needed to change it out afterwards. I did change out the stock charging handle. I got one that's a little more beefy and one that's ambidextrous. This is a precision reflex charging handle. It's got the cool coating on there. It really helps it pop. And then I also changed out the stock safety selector, and I put in an ambidextrous one. I like flipping with both my thumb and my index finger. Now moving up, I have a Bushnell AR optics scope. It is specific for the 224. I, like I said already, I have it zeroed at 100, and that's because it has a BDC reticle, so a bullet drop compensation, meaning that right out of the box it tells you to zero it at 100, and then every little hash mark you can kind of go from 200, 300, 400 up to 500 fairly easily just holding. And I prefer that right now. It's very simplistic. I don't get to go out to the range to practice long distance shooting, and so this right here is it saves me a lot of time, gives me a lot more confidence as I head out to the field looking through this specific type of reticle. I have it on a Burris QD scope mount. Pretty easy. I've never really had to take it on and off unless I'm cleaning it, from all the grime and dirt that sometimes gets put on it out there in the field. But other than that, it's a pretty standard build, nothing fancy, like I said. I think all in all, if you're going from, front to back with everything that I've added, it's about a $1,500 to a $1,700 rifle that you're looking at. And like I said, it's still effective. You can still put game down, still harvest it. And I think that's pretty much all that I hope to do with it. All right, moving on to our next rifle. I have my Savage Axis 2 30-06. This is actually the very first rifle that I bought. It's, like you can tell, very basic, very simplistic, very old school type of feel to it. The 30-06, obviously classic caliber. I felt very happy with the purchase, and I still do. This is a rifle that I know anytime that I pick it up, I can put just about anything I want down with it. It is a 22-inch stainless steel barrel. It's blued. It's got a Weaver scope. Yeah, a Weaver scope. I know a lot of people probably will shit on the brand. It's not a high-end brand by any means, but if you kind of keep that in mind and you're realistic and you kind of just take care of it, it'll do what it needs to do. I haven't had absolutely any issues with the scope. This specific stock, it's not fancy, but like I said, it makes it look a little more classic looking. I hope to have this rifle for a very, very long time and pass it on to my son when the time comes. But like I said, it looks like what my father would have passed down to me or something like that. And I kind of like that look. It's got just this little bullet sleeve on the stock purely for aesthetic purposes. I mean, it is functional, but I think it makes it look a little cooler. Savage does have the AccuTrigger in its bolt action gun, and I was able to adjust that to a much lighter, crisp feel to it for me, specific for me. And overall, I think this is probably the most basic setup that I have, as y'all can tell, and I'm not mad about it. Like I said, I trust this rifle very, very much, and I don't plan on getting rid of it anytime soon. And the reason why I'm not getting rid of this gun anytime soon is because I shot my first buck with it. It was a small little 6 point, but also a few years ago, my son was out there with me, and I was able to get one of the biggest bucks that I've gotten. This is the my big 8. So as y'all can see, getting something, of this, caliber down with something basic like this just goes to show you don't have to break the bank in order to get something cool. And the last rifle that we'll talk about tonight is my Savage 110 High Country. It is chambered in 7mm 08. It's what I call my prettiest gun. It has the 22-inch stainless steel spiral fluted barrel, and it's got a matching bolt to go with it. It's got a threaded barrel in case I ever do get a silencer, which it is on my to-do list. I do have the synthetic stock with the Strata True Timber camo pattern, also wearing it. So yeah, I love this camo, love this gun. I have a Vortex Crossfire 2 scope on there. Again, a budget-friendly scope. I think it was worth like that 250 mark. And overall, the gun itself was at the 1200 mark. So from front to back, it's probably going to run you about close to $1,500 from what I have on here, from what I've done as far as just mounting the scope, really, because that's all I'm able to actually mess with. Other than the AccuTrigger, this one does also have the AccuTrigger. I was able to adjust that, and that's pretty much it. I have another sleeve on here again, just for aesthetics. It does, you know, carry, I believe, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 rounds. And both of the rifles that I have detachable magazines. I forgot to mention that. But overall, these are the weapons that I choose to have. with this rifle, uh, about 4 years ago, 4 or 5 years ago, I was able to get my 10 point on the ground with it. Pretty cool looking 10 point. And it just furthers my point. You don't have to be bougie to get something cool on the ground. Again, guys, these are just setups that have worked for me over a short period of time. I'm not done buying guns. I hope to buy some more, but for the time being, I know that the guns that I do have, the setups that I do have, they work. If I need to go out, procure some meat, be it deer season or whether I'm out shooting hogs, I'm confident with the setups that I have in order to do it. I think the biggest thing for any hunter, whether you're experienced or you're just getting into it, is to get something that fits your preferences and get a lot of practice with it. Go out there as much as you can until you're proficient with your firearm. And then it doesn't really matter um, as far as getting behind your rifle. You're going to know exactly what to do and you're going to be confident to do it. Guys, thanks for stopping by. I hope to make more videos like this. I'll bring out more guns, the next video that are suited for different purposes, maybe EDC or truck gun or something like that. We'll talk about those setups in the next video. I will try to pivot if I find that most people aren't enjoying these videos. I do want to try to be as upfront and honest and transparent with you guys. I'm not in any means to buy really expensive stuff. So that's kind of why I wanted to bring this to light for those of you who maybe have thought about getting into hunting or shooting and just think that it's going to break the bank. You don't have to. Just have fun with it. Thanks again, guys. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next video.